The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses is one of the anime I'm looking forward to, since I consume rom-com anime like some unattended child in front of a Slurpee machine. While episode 1 is already promising, and I cannot stress enough how adorable Mie is, there is one glaring problem with the anime. The animation is just too much. Hello, Math here from Otaku Defined. Before you curse me and say, stop complaining about the animation, it looks great, hear me out. The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses indeed has excellent animation. It possesses a lot of high quality details, so much so that you will even see the specks of dust. And heck, they even animated this wood palette like it belongs to the Distinguished Museum of Louvre. I'm not saying that the animation for The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses is terrible. It's beautiful. And you can even say that it has a movie-level production. And I appreciate that. But the direction of its animation is downright awful. GoHands production doesn't usually produce rom-com anime, and it's surprising to see that they are dipping their fingers into this anime. I was actually expecting either KyoAni or Cloverworks to go and pick up The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses because it's more up on their alley. And oh boy, what an amateur's job from GoHands production, which is unexpected given the amazing resume of the staff. Let's start with how the opening sequence looks. When Komura was walking, I was astounded by the details of the animation. I appreciate how wonderful the frames look, and it deserves to have that animation. But it overstayed its welcome to the point where it looks like this. It is common practice to present the level of animation that you can do in the first minute of an anime. It lets you establish yourself with the viewers that this is an anime that they should be watching for the passion the animators are putting on each frame alone. And that is the kind of dedication that I can get behind. But what GoHands production did for the opening sequence seemed more like bragging than showcasing what the studio can do. We start seeing details. While good, it would have been better if the resources were put in another aspect of the anime. It reminded me of those video games that focus too much on the graphics, that they ended up having mediocre stories, buggy glitches, and tedious gameplay. You know, a typical Ubisoft game. Then we see this horrendous camera movement while Komura is going up the stairs. Why do we need this type of animation? Why do we need this kind of camera angle? And why is Spider-Man the cameraman? What makes an animation great is not based on how high the quality looks in each frame, but how each frame is used to complement the story. For this anime, its animation direction is wasteful. These types of animations should be dedicated to important scenes, not when we are just following the MC to his classroom, not when the teacher is writing and we see some chalk dust, and certainly not about focusing on the details of this wood while Komura and Mie were having a moment. I want to see two fictional characters act sweet and cute, not stare at a blank like I'm in Home Depot. I mean, think for a second. Why do people say that the animation for rom-com series like My Dress-Up Darling and Boku Yaba are good, despite having a lot of static scenes or fillers in their animation? It's because they use high-quality animations in the right scene. Before I explain further, please do like this video and please do subscribe to Otaku Defined. It helps this small channel a lot and I appreciate you guys who are still watching my content. Anyway, this blended camera work that we see in the opening sequence is also used in My Dress-Up Darling. The reason why it works in My Dress-Up Darling is because Cloverworks use it in a significant moment where Gojo and Marin are falling deeper in love. High-quality animation is also present in The Dangers in My Heart. And like My Dress-Up Darling, they reserve their resources for amazing animation for the scene that will make people die from how sweet Yamada and Ichikawa are. Especially how each title reveal is done in Boku Yaba. We anticipate that moment. The sudden quiet music as we hear Ichikawa's thoughts, then the music slowly gets louder as it harmonizes with what Ichikawa is feeling. And then we see the change in the animation, how it alters the scenery, the details of the characters getting more pronounced. As the title is unraveled, we are rewarded with a high-level animation to complement what we just felt in that incredible scene. And this is what makes animation good. This is done because you want the viewers to glue their eyes on the screen. And you do these wonderful animation sequences in the most important parts of your story. But if you do it in every scene, you are going to end up with a sloppy work. The story and level of animation should always complement each other. It's akin to using a gun to destroy a cockroach. It might do the job, but you wasted a lot of resources when a simple sleeper does the job. It's about being effective and efficient. Don't get me wrong, I'm enjoying The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses. The story is amazing, both Mie and Komura are engaging as characters, and I cannot wait to see how the romantic story unfolds. And there are some scenes where the animation complements the story. I mean, when you do it in every scene, you are absolutely bound to hit the right scenes for good animation. Like how Mie is reading close to the book and is now leaning closer to Komura, or when we first saw how Komura looks at Mie, or heck, even this animation of Komura regretting his wish. With more types of animation that complement the right scene of the story, the more this anime gets better in its overall quality. And we certainly do not need more blended details of this wood palette, because I'm afraid it might become the best girl in the series. So yeah, I know some of you guys actually like the way they directed the animation for The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses, so feel free to say how wrong I am in the comments. I also noticed that the summer season feels slower compared to the spring season anime. Well, that's because there are still a lot of upcoming anime that are highly anticipated. So here are 5 anime that you should watch this summer. Subscribe to Otaku for more anime content. This is Math, and remember to stay awesome, my dudes.